That was wild. They just, like... They played better the entire time and just simply won the game. Dude, I only felt anxious for like 10 minutes. Wild improvement. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Rangers, and I'm here to talk about Game 51 of the regular season, where the Rangers win 3-1 over the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the Rangers, even though it took place over about a 2-week span because of the massive layoff, are on a 3-game winning streak. This is a game the Rangers win that is perfectly fine. It is a normal game in which the Rangers won. What do I mean by that? Everything was fine. The goaltending was good. The defense was pretty fine. I thought they gave up a couple of, not great chances, but overall I thought they held the Lightning pretty well in check. The offense looked fine. They scored 3. One of them was an empty net. They got robbed a couple of times. I'm not going to say, they should have scored 7 goals. They could have easily had it 3-0 or 3-1 before the empty net. The power play couldn't cash in, which is a bit of a bummer. The offense looked fine. Everything for the Rangers looked fine. It was a good game. There isn't a ton more to say than that in terms of this part was spectacular. Everything was good, but nothing just punches me of we've got to praise that player. And including the second and third, or the third and fourth lines, I thought they were good. Obviously, you had Jimmy Vesey in that line getting a pair of goals. You had Brodzinski getting a goal, even though it was a bit of a broken shift unit. I think it was Kreider, Wheeler, and Brodzinski. Not great that the first line scored a goal when Mika wasn't out there for the 30 seconds, but they won it. We're just going to keep on rolling and ignore that problem. But to talk about the Rangers' goals, the first one, Jimmy Vesey heading into the offensive zone with a little bit of a 2-on-1. Just the most disgusting backhander I've seen in a hot minute. I can't do the goal a lot of justice. That was a really beautiful backhanded shot by Jimmy Vesey, beating Vasilevsky. The Rangers are up 1-0. Now, the second goal I can discuss a little bit more because there's more meat to the bone. Rangers have it in the offensive zone. It's a battle along the boards with Kreider and Blake Wheeler going for it. Eventually, they break it free. Kreider with a really nice pass. It was a short pass, but nice, and through traffic over to Johnny Brodzinski, who just kind of chucks it on net. And I don't like to beat down on goalies, especially when they aren't on my team. That's a goal that Andrei Vasilevsky has just gotta have. There's no way that can just sneak through the way it did, but it does. The Rangers now have a 2-0 lead leaving the second period. Early in the third, the Lightning would get one back. Brandon Hagel left wide open in the slot. Nice pass from Chernak. Nice job of Hagel getting open. You'd love the defense to do something there. It was Eric Gustafsson, I think, that missed his man, which, on account that I don't even know how he got back into this game because his entire face got blown up. I'm not going to beat down on him because he probably can't speak English right now, so we're going to give him a pass. And then a minute left in the game, Jimmy Vesey, the empty net, his second of the night, seals the game, and the Rangers win 3-1. Things that did look really good in this game, the scoring depth, especially the third and fourth line, looked shockingly good. This is one of the first games. The Panarin line looked fine. They might not have had the most offensive zone time. Vesey, Pitlick, and Gaudreau really surprised me tonight. I thought that line looked fantastic. They closed the game off to get the final goal with the empty net. They got the Rangers on the board. I thought this was one of the better Gaudreau games of the season. Vesey obviously had a very nice game. It feels like every time Vesey gets on the score sheet, it's a multi-goal night. I could be very wrong with that, but in the back of my head, every time he gets anything, it's Jimmy Vesey, 0, 0, 0, 0, 3-point night with 2 goals, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2-goal night. It's never just, he had an assist. It's breakout game, nothing. But this is a breakout game. He looked fine. The first goal especially, just unbelievably nasty from Jimmy Vesey. The first line, dude, I had so much hope following the last game. And I don't want to pick on it too bad. Mika looked lost. That was one of the very less than stellar games I've seen from Mika Zibanejad. And in a game where I thought, man, he could really, this would be a great game for him to wake up, and he just kind of didn't. And especially on the power play is what looked concerning to me. He was just there. He was just moving for the sake of moving, like a toddler running around a room. And I don't mean that to beat down upon a player, because I love Mika Zibanejad. I want him to wake up. I want him to find his game again. And when he finds it, and I say when because it is a when, not an if, he's going to be great. He's going to go back to being one of the Rangers' top players. But, dude, he has got to find it. And in this game where it's against a team he has historically done very well against, you thought it could come there, and now you've got to hope that it can come in the game against the Blackhawks, because the Blackhawks, I don't know if you know this, they're terrible. And then we get to the other fun conversation about the night, which is Jonathan Quick looked really good again. In the past 3 games, he's allowed 4 goals, including 2 1-goal performances against, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Tampa's in a playoff spot. Yep, that's back-to-back performances allowing only 1 goal against playoff teams. And the game before that was against Ottawa, which granted it is Ottawa, but it was a 2-goal game. And he made some really good stops. He's on a 3-game win streak. Listen, it's the Blackhawks, so I don't think you can make a wrong move. Honestly, like, anyone you put in should, at the very least, be able to win. I think that is, because I've seen people going, oh, you got to ride the hot hand with Jonathan Quick. Guys, it is the Blackhawks. Calm down. This is not some important, like, marquee matchup. I think this is the game where it's a no-brainer. You put Shesterkin back in the driver's seat. I get the Quick's been great. You are now looking, regardless of how good Jonathan Quick has been, and he has been good, and he deserves to get flowers and deserves to get the praise and should get affection from the fan base, who has historically just been awful towards the backup goaltenders. I'm looking at Georgiev, Keith Kincaid, and Yaroslav Halak last year. It's nice to see the backup goalie not be on a death threat list. That being said, Jonathan Quick is on a league minimum deal that is for 1 season while he is like 37 years old. Igor Shesterkin is around 29 on a 5-year deal, if I'm not mistaken, making around $5 million. He is the future of the franchise. He is the goaltender you're going to be using for the coming years. You've got to make sure you've got to get him back mentally right, and putting him in a game against the Blackhawks, it makes too much sense. I understand it's on the road. I understand he hasn't played in a game in like 2 weeks, but that's exactly what I'm saying. You've got to get him back into the saddle. This is a game. You've got Trouba back. Gustafsson came back in this game, and I assume he'll be better by Friday. You're going to have your defense back to full strength. You've got the offense rolling again with a couple of games out of the break. This is where Shesterkin comes back. And so hopefully, against them on Friday night, the Rangers can get 2 superstars on their team awake and showing a pulse again with Shesterkin and Mika Zibanejad. But time will tell. That game is going to be Friday evening at 8:30 Eastern, and I'll be here afterwards to talk about it. But as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Rangers.